Hey, welcome to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Horn. Thank you for checking out the channel. I really do appreciate it. Hello to all the new people that have subscribed recently. It's really good to have you here, honestly. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Today I'm going to talk about 80s and possibly some 90s cartoon gold that can be found for free in the public domain over on the Internet Archive. Now, if you remember rightly, I did create some trailer compilations of like vintage horror trailers, the Video Store Ate My Brain compilations, which were all screened over on my Twitch channel. I will be doing an event evening there over on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Andrew Horn, where I'm going to screen all three back-to-back in one 3-hour marathon soon, so look out for details of that coming up. But there's a lot more to be found over on the Internet Archive, and there's a lot of recorded stuff from the TV which has been interesting to check out. I found recently on YouTube a bunch of channels that have been putting out compilations of forgotten cartoons, so things like Inhumanoids or Darkstalkers or Wildcats and things like that from the late 80s and early 90s. And there's been a lot of entertainment value to be found in those. Stuff that I not forgot existed, but forgot there was a series for, that sort of thing. So I'm going to go and check out some things over on the Internet Archive today about that. What else have I been doing this week? I've got a few pickups here. Just a few small pickups. So I got, for 50p, I got The Best of the Goons. I love a bit of Goons comedy. That says a lot about my upbringing. I got Kick-Ass 2 on Blu-ray. Not as great as the first one, but definitely a good one to see. I mean, anything with Chloe Moretz in it is awesome. I think she's a really talented actress, and it's the one that Jim Carrey disowned for being too violent. But dude, you were in it. I picked up this 2-disc set of Blues Brothers, which I already have, of course, one of my favourite movies ever. But I didn't have the collector's edition of Animal House. I'm a big fan of John Belushi, and I don't have the collector's edition in my collection, so now I do. So I'm going to revisit Animal House soon and see how it's aged. I assume it's not aged very well, but it has been a long time since I've seen it. And as I can't get to the straight-to-video 80s video shop as much as I would like to be there a lot more than I'm able to at present. I did go on their eBay shop. They have a really good eBay shop. Just look for 80s video shop on there, and I picked up Amityville 3. I've also been playing my Evercade over live on Twitch as well. Here's what that looks like. So that's a look at what I've been playing over on the Evercade over on my Twitch channel, and that's been a lot of fun. It's been fun to revisit all these games on that. I do love that console, love that platform, and I love it that the Evercade team are putting out so much cool stuff so cheaply. I've written some more short stories and got those out to various anthologies and whatnot, and I'm looking forward to hearing my rejections for those soon. But it's all good. It's all good. I will have a new collection out later this year of short fiction that I've written throughout the year. So there'll be more news on that soon. I'm just trying to think and make sure I'm keeping you up to date on everything. So that done, let's go and check out what I can find in terms of 80s and possibly some 90s cartoon gold over on the Internet Archive. So we're back on the Internet Archive, so I'm more than willing to buy stuff. I love physical media, we know this. Sometimes I'll buy stuff digitally, mainly it's physical. I don't like, you know my reasons for physical media, I enjoy physical media. But there is a bunch of public domain stuff on the Internet Archive which is really, really cool to check out. There's lots of movies on there, there's lots of videos, there's books, music and all kinds of things. The legality of it is interesting. It's all listed as public domain, so that's why I'm taking it as public domain. But as long as you're only using the stuff for your own purposes, for your own enjoyment, then you should be fine there. But this is a great place to go if you have some time to spare and you don't want to just get lost in an endless YouTube black hole, as I often do. I love YouTube. I love YouTube so much. So I make a lot of YouTube videos, but by crikey, I watch a lot of YouTube videos as well. There's always something on the go. This is a great resource if you just want to see if you remember things right, if there's like a TV broadcast you remember, or if there's a particular show you want to revisit, but you don't want to get it in just like a box set. You want to see it as it was broadcast. There is a ton of stuff on here which you will find interesting if you look back to, I don't know, the big like TV events for me when I was young was stuff like Ghostwatch. So I would want to watch the original broadcast of Ghostwatch again. I don't know if that's on here. Maybe a Ghostwatch video is another one to do at some point, but this is a really cool, really cool thing to check out. So I've opened up a few things here which I think may be of interest over on the Internet Archive. So I'm going to see what they're like. This one sounded fun, a cartoon and wrestling block from the late 80s and early 90s. So we've got the video here. How long is the video? It's 2 hours, 46 minutes and 35 seconds. That is a pretty good video. I'm liking that a lot. So on this block, we've got Conan the Adventurer, X-Men, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those three are all episode 1. Followed by the Bugs Bunny and Tweety Show, then WWF Superstars of Wrestling, either late 89 or early 90, 60 minutes. Total runtime is 210 minutes or 3.5 hours, says the uploader. This was ripped from an old VHS tape. I own none of this material. So this is our stuff that's been recorded from TV. That is fantastic. So this is not like a special edition. This is not something that's been redone and cleaned up and retouched and brought out in super high definition. This is the real thing. This is the broadcast. I love that. So you can stream it on here, or if you've got the space, I am running out of space on my devices, you can download them as well. But this is, let's have a look at the quality. Looks pretty good quality. There's Conan. Later on in the file, what else have we got? Do be warned that some of these files are quite large, so the site can be a little slow at times, but it's such a good thing to find. What else have we got? So it says X-Men next. Yep, there's a Sentinel. Love the old X-Men cartoon. That was the absolute best. That looks like such great nostalgia. I'll definitely be getting hold of that. So what was this one? Cartoon Network's Cartoon Friday from 2001. I think this may have been compiled from the uploader. That's it. Oh no, that's looking VHS, so we got some trailers there. Yeah, we got some PlayStation trailers. I love it. Some more ads. Then we've got some Cartoon Network gear, some of the classic ones. I see Dexter's Lab there. I see Courage the Cowardly Dog and stuff like that. Dexter. I'm sure we've got some Johnny Bravo and things in there. That's just fantastic. Honestly, this place you can lose absolutely hours. You will also find things that you don't know or don't quite remember. And I don't remember Defenders of Space. I remember Defenders of the Earth, of course. That was a big series for everyone with Mandrake and Flash Gordon and the Phantom in it. Oh, okay. This is a Joseph Lai release. For more about Joseph Lai, look up on my channel. I did a video about ninja movies. Joseph Lai was famous for stitching together like failed or forgotten movies and creating something new with minimal new footage. And this looks like one of his hack jobs. Fantastic. I am having some of that. How long is this? It's just over an hour. Alright, okay, I'm so sold on this. I'm going to do some reading up on Defenders of Space and find out exactly what it is. That sounds fun. I'm up for that. This looked fun. We've got Madballs doing gross jokes. this really takes me back. So the Mad Balls was a very brief craze. Over here in the UK, it was very brief anyway. But I did have some of the Mad Balls, and I loved those toys. They were great. Just foam. I had the eyeball one, and I had the purple dude as well. But yeah, they were just foam balls, but they were so cool and a bit grotesque, and you know, kids love that, and some of us grow up into adults that love that, so there's no escape really. But that looks so fun. Next one, Captain N, the Game Master. It was an early attempt at bringing Nintendo properties to the screen, so do check that out. There's several episodes of it there by the look of it, from Season 2 of Captain N. As the Adventures of Galaxy Rangers there. I have done a video on the Galaxy Rangers as well. Oh, blimey. Okay, that's the whole series is there. As a playlist, that's superb. That is superb. Of course, Galaxy Rangers had one of my favourite theme tunes ever. Love those big fist-pumping theme tunes from the 80s. They were so fun. This is great. Oh, what a paradise of a place. This is interesting. So Robotech was a show that was repurposed from the Macross stuff from Japan, and redubbed and rewritten and so on. It was okay. I enjoyed Robotech. I had some tapes of it, had some of the merchandise from it, and did wonder as a kid why the merchandise said Macross instead of Robotech. But you know, it was what it was. This is the sort of thing that happened. Then things were repurposed from other countries, and it was a strange era because a lot of Japanese culture and a lot of anime and so on was just still starting to find its place over in the West, and that was a really interesting period. So, yes, speaking of which, there's Vampire Princess Miyu Volume 1 from 1988 from a dubbed 1996 VHS. So, this is the thing is with these that have been ripped from VHS. Yeah, I could get them clear. I could easily get stuff in a higher definition, but I like to see stuff that is from tapes. They were so prevalent and so important and such a massive element of life for so long that I just want to make sure that they are preserved in some way. And the fact that people have been uploading ripped VHS tapes into a digital format is both crazy because it's like a low quality analog format, but it's also really, really cool because these things are being captured on a format that is not really that prevalent in society anymore, unless you subscribe to this channel and hear me talk to you about it all the time. So thanks for that. That's well worth a look. There's also Patlabor Volume 1. That was always around back in the mid-90s when anime was really taking a strong hold. There's a VHS tape of episodes of The Real Ghostbusters here. You know, I love The Real Ghostbusters. I'm not going to go into my nostalgia rant about that. I did that on my video about showing an episode of The Real Ghostbusters on a cinema screen recently. But this is really, really cool and absolutely essential in terms of viewing when I was a kid. Gotta love Ghostbusters. Dungeons & Dragons, Series 1, Episode 1, The Night of No Tomorrow, the famous one where it all kicks off and they find themselves in the Dungeons & Dragons world. But you will also find things that you'd forgotten existed. Now, Ring Raiders is one that I was reminded of it, I think, by... It was either Ed's Retro Geek Out or it was Pixel Dan. Or even Secret Galaxy. It was one of those guys. Could have been Dan Larson, who reminded me that Ring Raiders existed, and I was like, oh yeah. Very, very briefly, I remember them. There's a lot of things that only lasted very brief periods of time, like Starcom and Manta Force and things like that. And while they only existed for this brief period of time, they've lasted on in the hearts and minds of dorks. But, you know, it is what it is. Also, we've got Silverhawks. Yep, that looks like the whole series of Silverhawks there. 65 episodes of it. There's a lot to get through here, so you're never going to be short of gold over on the Internet Archive. Remember, keep it all for your own personal use, and enjoy it, revisit these things. And then when you have revisited them, you can go and get the physical media, you can go and get the box sets. I've got a bunch of box sets of things around the house, and then you are supporting the companies that own these properties. You know, and you're laying down the cash for them, but by all means revisit these things. These are available to watch over on the Internet Archive. Now, this is an interesting block here. This is from August 4th, 1990.
Saturday morning cartoons from ABC in America. Doesn't say what's on there though. Let's have a look. Oh, there's Karate Kid episode, and there's an episode of the animated Beetlejuice series, so that's well worth a look as well. Literally all I've done over on the Internet Archive to find these is go to archive.org, and I've searched 80s cartoons and then 90s cartoons. That's literally what I've done to find these, and immediately you've got weeks, months, years of retro entertainment for free, and that's great. By all means, if you are in a position to, go buy all the physical copies. If not, enjoy them and just revisit these times that we had and the things that made us the people that we are, these little markers along the way of our lives. Reboot was a great series, one of the earliest series, I think it may have been the first series to be entirely computer generated, set in a virtual world. This is 4 hours long, so that looks like it's pretty much the entire series to me. Doesn't say there, but that is very cool. Yet the animation in these things is clearly dated, and a lot of it hasn't dated well, but there are cases where it still looks good, and these things are always still watchable. It's still really fun to revisit these things. That one's not loading. Okay, let's go to the next one I've got on. This is one of the ones that I did find on YouTube. Someone had put up big blocks of episodes of Inhumanoids. So there's 18 episodes of Inhumanoids there. Inhumanoids was an action cartoon with like powered armor, giant monsters and whatnot, and a toy line that went a little bit too far in terms of what it showed. There was some really quite gruesome creatures in there, but they were really fun toys. They were really fun toys. I had some of those toys, but I think by the time I got the Inhumanoids, they were on sale. They were like clearance stuff. The range had come to an end, so it was a very limited number of items in that range. But I remember fondly the feel of them and the weight and the weightiness of those figures. They were really heavy figures. I don't think they were. I don't think the armored figures of the main characters, I don't think they were hollow in any part. They felt like solid plastics. They were far heavier than all the other action figures I had at the time. Inhumanoids, well worth a look. Okay, Jason and the Wheel Warriors. How much is that? Crikey, how much of this is on there? It's just underneath the video, you can see the whole run. There's 15 episodes from there. There may well be some more around there. Jason and the Wheel Warriors is another one that had a glorious theme tune. Absolutely wonderful theme tune. You can just go and find compilations of 80s and 90s cartoon intros on YouTube, and they are a great watch. They're really fun. I've watched a lot of those with the kids and tried to explain to the kids what all these shows were, and trying to explain some of the shows, you know, Ulysses 31, Mysterious Cities of Gold. It's really hard to make them sound compelling because they're just so weird. And of course we've got Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. How much is on here? Right, that's the whole series on there. Now that was a great cartoon. In my head, Visionaries ran for a lot longer than 13 episodes and like 2 toy lines. Honestly, I really loved that series. I loved the cartoon. The figures were fantastic. They were, I think, like 3.5-inch figures, 4-inch figures that were about the same sort of size and shape as Star Wars figures, but with loads more articulation. Of course, they had the holograms on the chest, the helmets, the weapons, and the hologram staffs. So yeah, that really dates it. It was from the period when holograms were a big thing. So go and look at the Internet Archive. Go and look for things you remember, things you miss, things that would be like chicken soup for the soul for you. Think, oh, I could just do with such and such. Think back to the days when you would have like days off from school, ill, and you would put on well-worn tapes of favourite cartoons or movies, or you would eagerly wait for kids' TV when getting home from school. Over here in the UK, we had a really different experience to people in the States with kids' TV, because, you know, we would come home from school and there'd be like an hour and a half of kids' TV. You know, you get like 2 cartoons, something live action, and something that no one really wanted to watch, but it had to because it was for kids. So it's like that was your lot. You know, stuff like Newsround, or things like the Really Wild Show and things like that. So we had quite limited. Then we had some in the mornings on weekends, but then that was it. In the days before 24-hour kids' TV channels, there really wasn't much for us, so we had to tape it and revisit it on VHS whenever we wanted to. So that is, it just takes me back. It takes me back to a nice era, and it gives me good feelings, happy memories, revisiting a lot of stuff, and being able to find it over on the Internet Archive, where you can stream it for free, or you can download a copy just to keep for yourself. And it's just really nice to revisit these things and enjoy them over again. And remember that these things were actually decent. Not everything has aged as badly as Masters of the Universe. Now, I love Masters of the Universe, I love the He-Man mythos and everything, but by crikey, that original Filmation series of Masters of the Universe cartoons has not aged well at all. But the same with Transformers. Transformers hasn't aged as well as I thought it would. Real Ghostbusters surprisingly has. Thundercats has aged pretty well, I think. But there are a lot of big shows that really didn't. Now I want to go and revisit Mask. I was a big fan of Mask as well, so I need to check out some Mask. I've not done that in a good long while. But yes, go and look around the Internet Archive, see what you can find, and have the best time reliving some 80s and 90s cartoon gold. So that's my little look around the Internet Archive for today. I'm Andrew Horn, and this is Planet Hex. Please do like and subscribe if you like this sort of thing. I talk about a lot of retro stuff, videos, video games, VHS tapes, music, comics, the writing life. I am an author, I write a bunch of stuff. So it all comes into play on this channel. So thank you very much for checking it out. And again, if you're a new viewer, thank you ever so much for joining me here. Thank you for watching this episode of Planet Hex.